Hello, this is Isaac from Turn Sounds. Carrots help you see in the dark, but celery helps you hear in the dark.
What? Welcome to Just Keep Walking. This is a podcast focused on the Walking Dead TV show, and today we're here to talk about season 11. We've been talking about Lepin. Okay, well, I'm going to leave that in. Lepin is a knockoff of Lego, which is still going, even though the CEO got put in jail. So there you go. Fun fact for the day. Okay, we're here to talk about season 11. Episode 7, nice little rhyme there, called Promises Broken. And we're also going to cover briefly the World Beyond Season 2 premiere. So, maybe I'll put this at the start. All right, quick edit into the start. If you want to skip to our thoughts on Walking Dead, skip World Beyond, then go to like 10 minutes in, roughly. That's when we start talking about it.
An exact time thing in there, won't you, once you edit it?
But then I'll have to record it again, and I might forget to do that. We'll see. Let's get the intros out of the way first, and then we can forget about them. And then, yeah. All right. So my name's Ben. I'm your host, joined by
Isaac, Mike Anthony. Hello.
And Liam.
And we're lucky enough to have Isaac today. We weren't sure if we were going to have him. Isaac's wife is expecting...
2 days late now.
Okay, 2 days late. All right. So you'll understand if you hear his phone go off anytime in the recording. We definitely don't want that to be on silent at the moment. So there you go. That's a little heads up. But good that we could have you this week.
Yeah.
Although you probably aren't too happy that you had to sit through World Beyond, unfortunately. Which maybe kicks us off into that very briefly. We can come back to it slightly more at the end if we have time. But so just to preface this, we all enjoyed season 1 of World Beyond, right?
I did.
Enough, at least.
Yeah. Enough to want to see the second season. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. And like, for me personally, at least, I thought it was pretty well made, and it wasn't. Obviously, it doesn't live up to the main show if you're comparing the two, but it was enjoyable and fairly well made, and it was good overall, I thought.
I remember liking most seeing, because World Beyond the Walking Dead, seeing the changes that were adapted into the new world. Things like, we saw like the bars on the doors for if people die, then they can't come through.
Yeah.
Like the staffs with the blades on it for safer distance. Yeah. Things like that was fun to see.
Okay, cool. Yeah. And then we came to this one today, which is the start of season 2, and it's a bit hard to sit through, unfortunately. It's so hard. I don't like ripping into things because I know lots of people work really hard to make this sort of stuff, but and so in all fairness, a lot of this I would blame very heavily on the budget. It seems like AMC's just completely stripped this dry. Like you can just tell so many scenes. It's like they really didn't have any money to put towards this, did they? Like, so that's definitely a part of it. But then there were a lot of like cheap gimmicky things, which just seem a lot worse when everything else around it seems cheap as well. So, what did you reckon, Liam?
Look, it's not off to a good start. No. I hope it's going to redeem itself, but yeah, it was just... You left there sitting going, what? What the... Yeah.
Yeah. And Isaac, is anything we haven't got
if
from
I
your
had,
thoughts already?
Well, how to keep this a pleasant, family-friendly podcast.
Beep, 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 beep.
Pretty much. If I had to like sum it up, I would just say to whoever's in charge, like cinematography, punch out. Like, why are you so close in on everything? Trying to like, she's hit her head. Spoilers ahead, I guess. Spoilers to her head. She's hit her head, so everything around her is blurry and out of focus, and that just goes on for so long.
I thought some of that was pretty cool.
Would have been cool for like 2 or 3 shots.
Right, yeah.
After that, what do you... But yeah, everything was so punched in, so shaky cammed. The CG backgrounds, you see them walking up to like the edge of the city. And
and
what?
Even the lens flare was like tilting when the camera was. Like, do you know how lens flares work? They don't do that.
Like the opening shot with the road curving upward, and it's like over to the hill where you see the helicopters fly over, and then all the walkers.
It was like the opening shot, pretty much, of the episode, which in theory, like, it's kind of a cool shot, and you see these walkers coming over the horizon, but But
Like,
you're
was it
saying,
an
it didn't
entirely?
look good, did it?
No. Like, I think the whole shot looked like it was like CG.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Even the leaves looked really weird, like landing on the ground. And a lot of this is just due to lack of budget and lack of time. Like, I'm sure probably the people who worked on this could do a lot better if they had the resources, but it was.
Oop.
Sorry, I just kicked the leg there. When you start off the very opening shot, and it's just like, ooh, that doesn't look great. Yeah.
Can I just say though, and I don't mean this to be disrespectful, but like if you can't do something due to like money restraints or whatever, don't do it.
Yeah.
Like even if you had to completely just say, I'm sorry, budget cuts, we can't make season 2 for another 5 years or something like that, then do that. Or like if you needed so badly for there to be helicopters in, you know, in your story, cut to a shot of somebody, you know, inside a building or whatever, hearing helicopters going over, or like, you know, seeing the shadows go over. Like, tell it through the people, not through like terrible CGI, which everyone's gonna cringe at. Like,
I mean, the helicopters themselves didn't stand out to me too much.
like the
I don't
walkers
know.
over the hill and all of that.
Yeah, and just like even you said, like the car in the foreground, like it's completely still, but it just looked fake. It just, yeah. I don't know. Hey, so there are like towards the end, there are a few little moments that I liked, just like very small. I was just trying to think like there's got to be something in this that I actually like. The music was still good. The Newton brothers who did season 1 as well. So that was good, but it's hard to think of much else that was likable about the episode, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And the characters, I still like the characters, and I hope we can see them up to something more interesting. Because I thought they were quite cool from season 1, but yeah.
Can I
There you
just
go.
ask though, because I was sitting next to Liam and I couldn't see you, Ben, when this was
Yeah,
happening.
okay.
During that whole scene with Candace,
Oh,
the lost
wasn't
girl or
good.
whatever. For me, the whole time I was like, "Am I on drugs? What's going on?" Did you know what was going on at all, Liam?
Not particularly, because I picked up on that she'd seen her photo twice. I saw,
Yeah.
I recognized that. I'm like, okay, well, she's going to have a part to play to some degree, I guess. But then when she's attacking her and speaking gibberish and all the reading and stuff, I'm like, yes,
Crazy
this
eyes.
makes sense. You're
Ugh.
just trying to survive. Cool beans. Yep, you're doing what you got to do. But then she's like, no, you're Candace. And then all of a sudden she wasn't there after she'd been eaten. I'm like, was she just like tripping balls the entire time?
And then she's back in her study or whatever,
Yeah.
and then
just to point out anything good in the episode, there was a cool transition where like the light changed after she hit her head the first time, and it just that was something that looked cool.
grasping.
Yeah,
I wasn't a fan of that. Like I liked, like visually it looked cool,
yeah,
but I'm not a fan of you get smacked on the head and all of a sudden a concussion means you start hallucinating your entire surroundings.
right.
Like, I don't think a concussion works like that.
Okay, I really don't know enough about concussions
Yeah.
to
Neither do I,
say.
but I'm pretty sure it won't be happening like that.
Yeah,
Like, if it is, sign me up. Ugh.
yeah. Okay, so yeah, and really, this is what I thought halfway through was like, what's going on? This looks like a fan film, is what this looks like. It would.
Yeah.
So if this was like a fan film, it'd be like, oh, they did the best with what they had. Sure, good on him. But yeah, it really just wasn't very good, unfortunately. Hey, and this, like, you can with no budget, you can still come up with a cool story, and it was
Yeah.
it just wasn't very interesting. It didn't make sense to me, at least. Maybe there's some logic there, but it didn't really make much sense to me. So.
The only thing I could get was, so Candace was like, girl missing was the posters, you know, Candace such and
Yeah.
such. And then when she says you're Candace, it's like, okay, so maybe she's saying that she's lost her way or something, or she's the one who's missing or something.
But even just bigger picture, the whole thing, like leaving Hope out in overnight. And,
Don't know.
oh,
Don't know.
I just can't be bothered. I don't know. So yeah, unfortunately, that's our thoughts on World Beyond season 2, episode 1. I do hope it gets better. I will follow up on it at some point, probably not in a hurry, but because you know there's old Jadis and stuff, so I've got to be a good Walking Dead fan and at least follow up on it to some extent, but yeah, it's hard to sit through. But onto something more positive is that I'm very glad we watched this first, because then it made Walking Dead look like the best, most Oscar-winning movie of all
masterpiece.
time.
Mwah.
Yeah. So here we are. Let's dive into Walking Dead season 11, episode 7. Who wants to start us off? Isaac, on this episode of Walking Dead, what do you reckon overall?
Well, I reckon there is spoilers ahead for one.
Yeah.
Many of those. Look, like you say,
Well, you've got a tradition here.
spoilers ahead. Yeah.
There it is.
Well, look, like you said, polarizing in comparison. So I was just,
Sure.
straight away, like we saw the recap and of Eugene and Stephanie getting busted on the communications, and you see cool top down with a slight angle view, cinematography as he hits the ground, shot change. I was like, this is nice. Like, oh boy.
For sure.
No, I like it. I think we get a closer look at the not CRM, the community Commonwealth.
Yeah.
Thank you. Commonwealth, all of that going on. Really like the Negan content there.
Yeah.
Strange twist toward the end, which I'm sure we'll talk about. But yeah, I got notes, and I got something which I found quite funny to me, which
All right.
I'll bring it up as we get there. I'm a fan. I
Sounds
liked it.
good. Cool. Liam.
Ditto.
Cool.
That was a great episode. I loved it. I loved the music in it as well.
Yeah.
I loved that. I don't want to go too far ahead into the episode, but the direction it moves in, fantastic.
All right.
You're a Whisperers guy, aren't you?
You know it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, same overall. Liked it. I'll save some stuff for later. But just skipping right to the end, just so we can get to one of the big talking points, is, man, I love this, that now our group's basically becoming the Whisperers, or at least, and not in their ideology, but at least using their tactics. That's cool. Like, and there's been so many times throughout the years where there's been something like the guts trick or whatever, and they'll do it in one episode, and you think, oh, why didn't they do that in this situation? And so
Because it's gross.
yeah, sure. But just things like that where there'll be a cool idea explored in one season and then it's kind of forgotten about from then on. And this seems really cool, like in the continuity of things, just to find something that works and bring it back later, and especially using it in a very different context. Like that's a cool idea.
Well, it's kind of the perfection of Michonne's trick as well, like her keeping walkers
Yeah,
with the jaws and
definitely.
arms off.
Yeah.
This is just way easier. Just put on a flesh mask.
Yeah. And I wasn't quite sure what they were going for at first when they were, making the masks and trying to blend in. And then at the end, you see them like grabbing these herds of walkers from all over the place. You go, oh, they're going to go and attack Reapers with this. This is cool. So, yeah, I like that. Liam, do you have... Give us your thoughts.
It's like there's really not much else to say. How cool is that? I mean,
That's cool.
they've learnt tactics that pretty much derail their entire communities, all of their communities. Alexandria is in ruins. Hilltop is gone. And they're like, actually, this is a very smart military strategy. Let's just employ the walkers to do our job for us. Like, yes, like you say, we're not going to subscribe to their ideals and their values, but yeah, let's absolutely use this as a weapon. Let's run amok with some whisper masks. I love it. It's smart. It's very smart.
Very cool. You look like you got some thoughts, Isaac?
Wow, it's hard to stay on track with so many of them. But the chief problem, the only problem I would see with that is they have to lead the pack in, right? And we saw what happened with the Whisperers. Like, you got to put yourself then in danger. You got to keep acting even when you're being shot at. It's tricky stuff.
I guess the alternative's not very good though. Like they were kind of losing anyway, so it's kind of bad situation versus bad situation.
Plus, I also think they can employ their own sort of strategies with that. The Whisperers were more sort of, we have to be like the dead. They are us. They own the world. Whereas these days, I feel like you could get away with putting on the mask, leading them into the front lines, and then, I don't know, using like the old alarm clock trick that Daryl used. Just throwing that and then just letting them pass.
Yeah.
Well, they've done as well, where they just kind of like blend back into the back ranks. Actually, yeah.
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 But then you've also got the sneaky things the Whisperers are able to do, where there's this herd pressing up against the wall, and then you can just come and like open the door,
yeah.
things like that. So
Yeah.
which walkers obviously can't do. So yeah, it'll be very interesting, and I'm excited for next episode now or whatever. Did they do a teaser for next week?
No,
they didn't, which upset me.
Oh.
I would also love to see the reaction of the Reapers, like hearing the whispers. If I don't think we'll get that, but can you imagine like if Negan says to Maggie like, there, or something like that, and the Reapers are like, they're talking.
Yeah, that
I would
be
love
cool.
to get that.
Definitely.
I feel like it'll be a little bit too cheesy, but it'd be awesome.
And this is something that I would have liked to see in a Whisperers situation. I might have mentioned this before, where a situation similar to No Way Out, where Alexandria was invaded by all these walkers, but then to have one come and open the door or something like that would be really cool. And they had some situations kind of like that, but they didn't quite do that sort of thing exactly. And so they could potentially do something cool like that here. That'd be fun. Yeah, but let's go back to the start. Go through a little bit of chronologically. Yeah, good bit of Negan stuff with making Maggie make him a promise, and then Isaac very cleverly pointed out, what's the name of this episode? Promises Broken. So could be a bit of.
Were they though?
That's what I was thinking.
Not here, no. So I don't know if it's a bit of foreshadowing, or I don't even know what it would be referring to otherwise. Hey.
No, but also like. So yeah, for whatever it's worth, in that time, because Father Gabriel's there and he's saying, in front of Father Gabriel, promise me this, but like, still, what guarantee does that give to him at all? Like the moment Maggie stabs him in the back, what's he gonna say? You promised? Like,
Yeah.
like,
yeah.
I don't know what he's hoping to like. He's suddenly gonna relax if she says, okay, I won't kill you. Or something. That's more of a Carol. Yuck.
Yeah. I don't know. Hey, there's definitely like a principle of the thing where, because Maggie, for the most, I gotta stop feeling with that. I'm making noise. For the most part, sort of. I don't know. Now I'm thinking about it as I'm saying it, but she is of good character, like, or at least she wants to be, and so. You'd hope it would play on her conscience a bit, at least. Not that, like you're saying, he could ever fully let his guard down, but it's a start, at least. And definitely later in the episode, he's really trying to reinforce some trust there. So we'll see.
Not very well.
Well, yeah, yeah.
But I mean, again, not to bash on World Beyond too much, but just coming into this straight away, the dialogue was like, oh, this is nice. Like, and whatever Negan was saying now, I can't remember the exact words, but it just started off with a bang. It was just great. And
the set as well, like the location and just the lighting, the ambience of it all, man.
And that's something I noticed because my younger sister is no, I don't know how old she is. She's like 18 or something.
Oh man,
I'm terrible with this stuff. But she watches a lot of teen shows and stuff like that. And that's something I've been noticing recently when I'm sitting in on something she's watching is like the lighting's often really quite unnatural or too perfect, and so you could see that in World Beyond is that there were lights where there shouldn't have been any light and things like that just to make it all look sort of polished and perfect, but you can really see in Walking Dead here it's all natural light, or at least it looks natural. Every light source has a reason to be there, and even like this shot with Stephanie and Eugene, if you're listening to this, which you are, because you can't be watching this, if they're supposed to be in the shadow, their face is half in the shadow, and there's a little bit of sunlight hitting them, but you can still see what's going on. So it just feels a lot more natural and real. So yeah, I don't know.
Fun to see them together.
It looks good, definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. And as soon as we saw Princess, I was like, wait, something's not right. Something's different here. Pink jacket's gone. But still, yeah, that was cool. Just to see them. I mean, it makes sense. Hey, that's like a good kind of punishment is to go clear out walkers because it's helpful. They're not just, bumming around wasting resources. They're actually being a help, but it's not the sort of thing anyone wants to be doing. So, yeah, I like it. And then we meet Snot-Nose, little kid who will come back towards the end. I thought he was Hamilton for half a second. He kind of looks like him, don't you
I
think?
want to belt him across the face.
The guy who plays Hamilton.
Lin-Manuel.
Yeah,
Miranda.
that guy.
Oh,
For like half a second.
I would hold him and we could take turns punching him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't deserve that. Actually, just slapping.
Yeah.
No, I want to punch him.
Okay.
Slap.
I want to do
You
some
get
damage.
more slaps if you slap with an open palm, though. Your knuckles will get sore.
Yeah,
Well, you weathered boxer, actually, so yeah.
I'll
You
hurt
would
him.
Yeah, Matt. Look at this shot. This is the overhead shot of Yumiko when she's in the meeting with some guy booking a meeting. There's lots of this whole thing just looks really cool. Really good cinematography. I can only say that so much, but it looks awesome.
She's all done up as well, really. You know, hair back, nice clothes, makeup.
Yeah. So we're really seeing, I guess, that they very much, I don't know, they're sticking way too strictly to certain rules and social rules and valuing very highly what people used to do before the apocalypse. So I don't know. It's definitely going to be interesting seeing this Pamela Milton who's running the whole place, and hopefully we can hear her sort of rationale for all this, because it definitely seems a bit ridiculous at the moment. But there seems at least like there's a logic and structure behind it, even though it's not a very good one. Yeah, but any thoughts on all this sort of stuff here?
More so around what the excuse will be. You mentioned just there that we'll get some sort of clarification from this Pamela Milton. I feel like it's going to be, this was how the world used to be, and it was a system that worked. So we're just emulating that. And I don't like that. I know this is a new world.
Yeah,
So,
just denial of...
Yeah.
Well, even that, I mean, the old world, or the world we're currently in, see what happens in a society when you shove people into doing things that they don't want to do. Or like you force people into certain classes and categories. Like, when has that ever worked out well?
Yeah.
Oh, the pyramids got built that way.
Aliens built the pyramids, man.
Yeah, but... Yeah. We'll
Goodness gracious, man.
Let's go down that rabbit hole, shall we?
Okay. I'm not advocating for slavery, just to clarify.
Good save.
Yeah, there we go. Smooth. All right, so yeah, we see these walkers coming across. What?
Cue The Walking Dead. We see these walkers.
That's a surprise. Yeah, I'll leave some of that stuff till later. It's just sort of a few setups here of some scenes. But yeah, we get Pope's really adamant to find Maggie's crew and all that. Do you reckon there's anything else going on, like personal vendetta wise, or is it just what it looks like that? I don't know. He's out to make sure that they're not going to come back and take over the place.
If I may, we've seen one very important thing at their base this episode is their food storages, which Daryl was very cheekily looking at. You know, I'm sure he's making a note of that. So they have things to protect, and if there are people wondering about outside, there's a threat there, which I guess blonde lady cleared up that.
Leah,
yeah, she said the same thing about danger and all of that. But yeah,
fair.
I don't know if he's like actually believing he's ordained or something kind of like that, you know, calling himself Pope and all of that.
Yeah, I don't know. Hey, interesting because we've, I mean, Rick's definitely been at a few points where he's just sort of, anyone who could be a threat, just kill him. And obviously he's come back from that and wasn't there forever. But you can definitely see how someone falls into that kind of thinking if you've been in a few too many bad situations. Yeah, but I thought that whole conversation between Daryl and Leah was good because he's not quite coming at it head on. He's still being cautious, but he's really prodding her and saying, why are you following this guy, and how much can we trust him? Does what he's saying actually make sense? And so I like it. I like the way he's going about this, and it looks cool. That's
Yeah.
hard to. You could see the focus shifting and stuff. That's not easy to do.
I feel like in this show as well, they get away with overcorrecting someone out of focus and then back in. And because it's like an apocalypse, you excuse it.
Yeah, right.
Like, it's not terrible the way that, but sometimes, they don't quite focus someone, or they will overturn.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah,
It's fine.
it looks good. Hey, yeah. What do you reckon of this POV shot, Isaac, inside the Whisperer mask? You tend to have an opinion on those.
So I got 2 notes on POV shots for this episode. So the first one there, at first I was like, come on, like, but this one, as soon as we saw how baggy it was on her face and how annoyed she was wearing it, it kind of, it was annoying for me to see that shot. And so it kind of, in a way, intentional or not, put me in that frame of like, what are we doing? And then she rips the mask off. I was like, this is stupid. It's not going to work or whatever.
Yeah.
Much to the cheeky delight of Negan.
No, well said, actually. Because, if it was just like she was just wearing it normally, it would have been like, why did that shot have to exist? But yeah, you're seeing it's like covering her eye and she can barely see out, and there's like walkers growling around. So, it makes sense. And Negan's really trying hard, just to like be a best friend and everything.
Yeah.
It's like, well, hey, you gotta try. If you keep doing it long enough, everyone will start to believe it if you believe it yourself.
I gotta say, he dropped a quote that I always use.
Yeah.
Where she's like, this is not going to work. And he's like, well, not with that attitude, Maggie. I'm like, yes. I use that all the time for completely unnecessary situations. It's one of the best phrases you can ever use.
I like it.
Fun as well seeing him doing like walking coaching.
Yeah.
That's hard to say, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. And I like that he's kept his old mask as well, which has sort of the Joker smile to it. It makes sense that he would keep that.
Also, as if you don't know how a walker walks after all this time.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
True. Yeah. Oh, well, she gets there eventually. But yeah, I thought this was quite an interesting moment. Father Gabriel's sort of spying out the Reapers. Well, really, it's Maggie's compound that the Reapers have taken over. But and he sees this guy come out who's obviously very devoted to the cult or the religion of whatever they follow, and Father Gabriel definitely sees a bit of himself in that. I think. Because they even had like a funeral earlier in the episode, and then this guy's like praying over a grave and talking to the father and stuff like that. So, did you guys take anything from that?
Boy, did I. And I had to stifle a bit of a laugh here. So you see the priest, I'm going to call him a priest or something like that, the other guy, as he's walking forward, we see through the binoculars. Now, if I had only one eye and was looking through binoculars, how do you think that would look? It'd be just a single nocular.
Oh,
right.
Wait a sec.
So,
let's go back.
I wish that, because binocular shots are quite cool to see, but I just wish.
No, the POV shot only has one eye.
Does it
Look
really?
at that.
What was I looking at? Wow, I take that 100% back.
That would be a good catch, though.
Yeah.
I didn't even
Excellent.
think of
Well, I'm retroactively proud then of that
Yeah.
of them remembering to do that
Yeah.
because that would have
it.
been
Okay.
maybe that's what subconsciously I was thinking. Oh, it was such an easy thing to miss because binocular shots are quite fun.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, cool. It was only one.
Unless there was another one that I'm missing. But
It
no,
couldn't be.
looks
No,
like
it
there's
couldn't be.
only one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about that?
How about that?
Scrub out that note. It's quite embarrassing.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Yeah. Anything else from that scene?
The fact that the priest is saying, "Thank you, Father," and he's like looking around, and it even looks like it just caught me off guard a little bit. Like, can he see him? Like,
Yeah.
he's got the collar on and everything. So I don't know. Obviously not, but like it was just if you're standing there and people call him Father all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Head over to Squawking Dead, their review of episode 3. They got into some pretty crazy theories there about Father Gabriel like actually being the leader of the Reapers and stuff, and yeah, we'll have to wait to see what they have to say about this episode. I can imagine there'll be some pretty interesting stuff coming from there. But yeah, they come up with some good theories over there. I like it. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see where that goes because even later he sort of lies to Maggie and says, "No, I didn't see anyone." So yeah,
Was that
I
the
don't
broken
know what's
promise?
going on? Hey, maybe. Yeah, we got Yumiko's brother just re-clarifying, "Don't tell anyone I'm a doctor," and then he gets taken away. After she said it out loud a few times. So you're wondering, like, did they hear what she was saying, or I don't know, any theories there?
What are they going to do? Force him to operate on people?
It doesn't sound like a good idea. Hey, yeah. Well, oh,
I'm
we'll see.
conflicted on that, if I may say.
Yeah,
Like,
sure.
please don't let anyone know that I can save lives. I'd hate to have to be, selflessly working for the betterment of society. Shh. You know? Like,
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, definitely. Without I don't necessarily agree with the decision, but I can understand it to an extent.
Depends if they have the resources already. Like, if they've already got enough doctors, I could understand that. If they didn't have any, then I'd be like, yeah, man, suck it up. For the greater good, if you can save a life, you're the only one that can. Or, your expertise is needed. If not, then you do you, buddy.
because they threw in the clarification, like, Dad's not here anymore. Like, if he was just living to please his father in the old world,
Yeah.
it's probably similar to Yumiko being a lawyer and everything, just both high achievers. So, but yeah, now that's no longer a problem. But he likes making cakes and dropping them.
Still not over that.
No, I listened to the last episode or the one before last.
Yeah.
It's like yeah.
There was, I think it was Squawking Dead. No, what am I talking? Talking Dead. So many things. Talking Dead. I was watching, and I think they talked about it. They had like 3 cakes or something, and they did 3 different takes. And then it was one of the producers like ate some of one of them that didn't touch the ground. So apparently it was a legit cake.
Yum.
There you go. Yum. Negan here just smugly sitting by the campfire. That's a pretty good screenshot, actually. Yeah, most of this we've kind of gone over already. But actually, here this is. Oh well, we'll cover it anyway. It's slightly low, but when he gets into sort of, she asks him, "Would you have done it differently?" Because he's reminiscing on the past and how things played out, and he goes and says, "Yeah, I would have done it differently." And you think, "Oh, okay." He's kind of acknowledging that he's done the wrong thing. He said, "I would have killed every one of you." And you go, "What?" But I really liked it in the sense that, hey, if that's how he's thinking, that's the truth. Hey, you got to be honest, and exactly what he was saying, in that, like, she is saying what all of us are thinking. Why would you say that? What's wrong with you? But he just says, well, look, if we're gonna have any hope of moving forward, I've got to be completely honest and tell you the truth. So I quite like that. But
I'm not a fan personally. Purely because I like this quote that says, everything you say must be true, but not everything that is true must be said.
Yeah,
Here.
very wise.
Like it's unnecessary. It's just provocative.
That's it. If you've ever seen the movie Liar, Liar, like you don't walk up to someone and say, I think you look, unkept and you look like you need a shower. Like, you might think that, but again, you don't need. I was thinking that he was going to say to her, I wish I'd killed all of you to spare you from like the loss of Glenn and all of those. That way you wouldn't be feeling the way that you do now or something like that. That's where I thought he was going with that, but no, okay. So you were thinking it. Sure, you're honest and honesty is nice, but that's not nice. Yeah.
Like, what are you hoping to achieve out of that? Like, yes, I believe that you're going to be upfront and tell me the truth, but I also think you're still a psychopath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But really, like, and this is in the middle of a situation where these guys are about to go and wipe out a whole other group. Like, it's just part of the world now, and not that it justifies it necessarily, but I think she's going to be looking for any reason, any excuse where he's like not being honest or kind of hiding something, where he's got ulterior motives, and so really, I can definitely see that really his only way out of the relationship they're in at the moment is to just have all cards on the table, be completely honest, and even if there's things that aren't necessarily going to be agreeable, that he's just going to lay it all out still. Like that makes sense to me. I like it.
Well, I guess she did ask the question, didn't she?
Yeah, true.
So in a way,
yeah.
he was responding to it.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, if you just out of nowhere, man, I wish I'd killed all you guys. Yeah,
He did sort of lead the conversation there, though.
True as well, yeah.
Yeah, true. well, let us know your thoughts. Head to turnsounds.com. There's a contact us page. Let us know what you thought. We got this in this other area they're cleaning out here. Liam and I turned to each other like, oh, it looks like Last of Us, because all the sets really, this whole episode, it looks really cool. And this is so much more reinforced after seeing World Beyond, where it really didn't look very good. So yeah, awesome sets, and this was even a thing in the early seasons of Walking Dead. There were heaps of memes of like, oh, who's been mowing the grass? Because they'd go by a house and the lawn was all short and mowed. But here you can see like full on weeds in all these grassy patches that have been like, growing for years and a waist high. So I thought that was pretty cool and definitely not easy to do. So someone's gone to a bit of effort there, unless they actually found like just an abandoned town, which they probably did.
Another meme carrying over from the first season, and I know I brought this up before, but like in every single walker encounter where there's like 2 or more walkers, at least a third of the walker population will be wearing like a plaid or checkered button-up shirt or button-down shirt, whatever.
Yeah.
Is there a difference?
Button up? Oh, I don't know.
Probably
Let us know.
button
Turn
down
sounds at Gmail. Yeah, no, good spotting there.
Seriously, look in every...
Yeah. Because I remember that was definitely a thing early on, is they really wanted to... Because this, like, Walking Dead really sort of started the trend of taking the genre seriously. Before then, it was very much like... I don't even know what to call it, but very tropey or kind of silly movies that, you just have fun with super gory stuff. But and so the trope they really wanted to stay away from was having like a policeman zombie, a clown zombie, and all doctors, all the sort of stereotypes that they really wanted all of them to just look really plain and ordinary and not stand out too much. And so maybe they just went a bit too overboard with the plaid. But I can definitely get by the reasoning at least.
They're trying to get away from tropes, yet they have like that junkyard walker with all the spike helmet on. And
that's like 7 years in. But yeah, good point. I wasn't a fan of that.
Mouth of Sauron.
Yeah, he
walker.
did look like Mouth of Sauron. That's very true. We got Lance Hornsby here and his teeth.
Oh,
You're not a fan of the teeth, are you?
I don't know what it is.
So I still reckon he's got governor vibes, but his mouth looks like Jim Carrey. There's something about it, about the smile. Slightly unnatural, but
Yeah.
he does the job. And so he definitely seems trustworthy because he's trying to do what he can to kind of help them out, and he's pretty upfront with, well, maybe I'll need a favor from you later. But Liam, what do you reckon?
I think he might be trying to overthrow Pamela.
Ah, yeah, okay, yeah, I can see that.
That's my theory.
Yeah, yeah, I'm on board with that. Say no more.
Haven't even met her yet, and still, yeah.
Sorry, just taking a drink. Awkward pause there. Yeah, no, I like it. I'm on board with that. I don't know what else to say. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, and then Daryl and Leah come across this guy, which is definitely an interesting moment for really seeing where Leah's at, because yeah, where Daryl's still sussing her out, we're still sussing her out, and you can see that she's kind of. I don't know. It's a shame it cut to an ad break when it did. That was annoying because she gets the order to kill the guy. Then it cuts to an ad break, and then you come back and they've gone and like checked out where his family is and stuff. So you didn't quite get that moment of, is she saying, "Oh, we'll kill him after we do this," or like, or was she completely disregarding the order?
I thought it was like a go suss it out, then kill him type thing.
Okay, maybe. Yeah.
That's
No,
what
you're
I
probably
thought.
right. Oh, fair enough. I just missed it there. Yeah.
Well, that was the way
That's
I
right.
took
You
it.
guys are here.
Well, I thought Pope said to her, "Kill him." I assumed that meant all of them because she had said to Pope, like, he's taking us to the rest of his people.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. No, that makes perfect sense. Oh yeah, Ezekiel's back and he's very very chipper. What did you say, Isaac?
He's wired, man. He just
Wired.
comes down to the sound of y'all ready for this. Man. But like, can relate as far. Well, I mean, I suffer from hay fever. Okay,
Right.
so it's not quite neck cancer, but you know, it's I have to take medication, and when you get that sweet medication, and everything starts working again, yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah. All right, and kind of. Oh no, hay fever doesn't really make you cough, does it?
Oh, cough and sneeze. But I do like how he every time he's in a jolly mood, he just goes straight back to his kingly ways.
Yeah.
With his language, you know. You have completed my task for me. Thank you. And like, yeah, good old Ezekiel.
Good old Ezekiel. Yeah, that's cool. And this last shot here I really like, which sort of pushes over. You've got the pile of bodies in the bottom half of the frame, and the stairway in the middle. It's a cool looking shot.
Yeah.
Show you guys. And it sort of held on that for a minute, which is cool. Yeah, most of this we've covered now. Oh, this is the main thing, is who we find out to be Pamela's son on a date. And yeah.
Have you met anybody ever like this where they're so clearly needing help or in the wrong or something, and I've never met anybody like this, so it seems so unbelievable to me that there's so little talking going on, like even to just turn around. Okay, so you would rather have, it's like, oh, I got my personal security, where are they?
Yeah.
So you know, you don't have to thank us because you know you're clearly an oaf, but like whatever, don't really call them names. I don't know. I get like, I feel my fists like ball into like,
Yeah. I don't know. Hey. Yeah. Very, very much over the top. But then I could see that being a thing in a world where the world kind of really, more than anyone, excuse me, sorry, in like this society, the world really kind of does revolve around him, and that every element of the society they're living in is owned by his mum. And so it's pretty much as close as it gets to the world revolving around you. And so I could see that happening if he's just been parented really badly. And it's not always about logic. Sometimes it's just you feel like you want to if something's gone badly, you just want to blame someone, and so he's just going to find any reason to do that. But yeah, what a little punk.
I think we understand surely as well, like in these sort of situations, right? So first of all, I was gonna say, heck yeah, Eugene, storming
Yeah.
up and like what a
Yeah.
difference from the old Eugene who would cower and run away.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's
So-
what I was thinking too.
He charged in there and was going, yeah, this is awesome, team Eugene and Stephanie. And then, all of that starts happening. And then he's butting heads with, do we know his name yet?
Nah, I can't remember it.
Jerk.
Yeah, jerk.
And Stephanie notices that there's a walker coming up behind so-and-so's girlfriend, right? And so, Eugene, no, not now. No, Eugene, oh, please, no, really, I want Eugene. At what point do you don't just scream behind you or look?
Walker.
Yeah, you're going to get everyone's attention. I just don't.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
I agree. I had the same thought process. I'm like, come on, this is a little bit too much.
And like this whole thing was interesting, and it'd be interesting to see where it goes. But at the same time, this is sort of this is the kind of stuff I wasn't looking forward to seeing from the Commonwealth storyline.
Yes.
Especially getting into the final season of the show. I don't want to be dealing with these kind of problems of like just like random bratty people and into personal well, I don't know how to say it. You guys know what I mean, but like domestic issues in a world full of zombies where you're doing your best to survive. It just and I felt kind of the same when they first arrived at Alexandria, and for ages like you're dealing with a lot of things that really didn't seem important, but I don't know. We'll just see where it goes. I'm still hooked for now. It's just thinking about it, I'm like, oh, I hope the whole show doesn't go too far into this direction. I hope it keeps to like just 5 minutes of the episode, maybe.
I was thinking, though, in the one defense, so with Eugene sitting there in a holding cell, or an actual prison cell, actually, thinking to myself, like, well, this sucks. Like, what right did they have to just lock him away? And then I thought, well, in this world, if you went and punched someone in the face, regardless of whatever, it's still aggravated assault. I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Yeah.
You're going to get put in jail, right?
Sure.
So it's kind of like, okay, they're trying to set up the rules of the old world again.
Yeah.
You assault somebody, you get put in jail, regardless of what mean things they said to you, So while I agree with you, it is kind of annoying because it's like we want to see, how are we going to beat the walkers and all of that? How are we going to team together? And now you're worried about bureaucracy.
It also came across as a setup too. The security detail wasn't around, and what's his face, Muppet, Jerk, whatever we're calling him, was saying, hey, and they just came up and attacked us. Pelican, yes, the best insult ever. Yeah, like it seemed like a bit of a setup for then old mate Weird Teeth to then come in and say, give us the location of your camp, and then we might let you out. Like
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, it came across as a little bit scripted to me. I'm like, okay, yep.
It was a very dangerous plan if that was the plan. Like those walkers were coming up right behind them. They were like making out, had no idea that.
Yeah, but obviously, like if we're saying this is what's it? Is it Lance?
Hornsby.
No,
or something, I don't know.
Lance doesn't sound. Yeah, it is Lance.
Okay.
Okay. If this was Lance's plan, I mean, who would value the lives of these kids anyway? But like, I would see them as like an expendable part of the plan if it doesn't go well. Oh well, you can still make that story work.
Especially if he is trying to overthrow Pamela, which was my other theory.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see this working. Yeah.
Yeah, heard it
And
here first.
that he was the one distracting Mercer, who's supposed to be their personal bodyguard or whatever. Yeah.
Elaborate, but you might be onto something.
Yeah, I like it. I reckon you are onto something. We'll see. But yeah, that was another thing. Just last thing on this crazy kid. That you see him like talking down to Mercer. It's like, oh, okay, something else is going on here. This isn't some random kid. Like, yeah, we'll see. Yeah, and what do you reckon's going on with Meghan Markle as well, the receptionist lady at the desk, because
I was like, wait, Meghan Markle's in this?
she looks like Meghan Markle. I thought. I don't know, maybe not.
I disagree.
Okay, fair enough. I don't really. I don't follow the royal family that much or suits. But like, yeah, I thought it was an interesting little moment that everyone's like so caught up in just these strict rules and acting a certain way, and it seemed like she'd let down her guard for a second and like, oh look, actual human connection, and then instantly when the phone rings, she has to like just shut that down, and so there's definitely something interesting going on just with this whole society here. But yeah, Eugene in the prison, man. I think you're onto something good with Lance there.
You can't trust him. Telling you now.
Oh, I don't know.
Sorry, I can't see. Do you have space?
It's 24 minutes. All
Okay.
good.
Okay.
Yeah, we're pretty much at the end, I think. Here. Yeah, we got the guy's family. Nice little moment there. Daryl kills the lady. Hey, gotta do what you gotta do. But yeah.
Then Whisperer ending.
My note for that
ending.
one is waiting for the trigger is the worst. So, this brave lady
Yeah.
has said, okay, I'm ready. You can shoot me, and put me out. Closes her eyes. How are you then going to hold up a gun, hesitate, and then not fire? And this poor lady's like, any minute, any minute, any minute.
Yeah.
It's how mean.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough.
I guess she didn't do it on purpose, but like, I don't know. So it's not in her to take a life like that, I think.
Yeah, pretty much. There we go. I'm just looking for something. I don't even have it on here. Don't worry about it.
I got one final note just when you're...
Yeah, go for it.
Just on the... So you've got now the big herd of walkers approaching, being led by Maggie and Negan.
Yeah.
And the other dude.
And the other dude, whose sister we see.
Elijah. Yeah.
That was a good moment. I liked that. I thought...
Yeah.
I'm glad that he didn't... I was half expecting him to break down crying and then the walkers swarm on him. And I was like, I'm glad that he's able to be upset enough to cry, but hold it together,
Yeah.
And then, unfortunately, maybe my only critique of this episode is this final shot we see above, very clearly CG walkers in a herd.
Yeah.
And I'm a bit over that. I don't see why you can't do compositing of multiple doubles, especially when you've got...
I don't know, hey, because it'd be so hard to get them to walk in a way that they wouldn't walk into where someone went in another take, is the main thing, without it looking like they're walking in rows.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if they're kind of walking all over the place, then you'd have one take sort of meshing into another one, and it'd be a bit of a mess.
But they're not walking that much. The shot that we see only lasts maybe 3 or 4 seconds, and they're really just like, they're stumbling a little as walkers do, but they're mostly just traveling forward.
Yeah. Definitely, if you looked closely at individual ones walking, you could tell they were CG. It's not too big of a deal for me, but...
Just pulls me out a tiny bit.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's one of those things that each time I'll go back and watch and I'll go, they're not real walkers, unfortunately. Otherwise, everything else looks so good.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough, hey.
Because they do such a great job in the costume department. Every single walk you see up close, it's like, wow, that is a dead person walking.
And the thing with CG as well is that, like, I've sort of been looking into some of it lately. Like, there's so many shots that you just wouldn't even think were CG, and so when it works well, you don't even notice it. And so there's these few little times where we do notice it, and you go, that's a bit average. But really, that's just to say that the VFX guys, do a really good job, and that TV schedules are very tight as well, which is the other thing. Like if they had Avengers level budget and time, then obviously these sort of shots, you'd be able to scrutinize all the little details like that. But
because you go from something like Shiva, who is, I thought, pretty good. Pretty good.
Yes and no.
For a character that your focus is like very, what's the word?
Concentrated.
Yeah, thanks. You're very concentrated on her versus like a horde of workers. walkers, which you're not really focusing on any particular one, and the whole sort of thing looks off.
Yeah. Okay.
I think, to be able to do one route, serviceably, and the other one not so.
Yeah. Although, like with maybe one or two exceptions, I like. Did you think the same when it came to the Whisperers herd and stuff like that? Because they had a lot of walkers on set to film it, but it wasn't as many as you see, and so definitely a lot of those were CG still.
Okay.
Like, did any of those shots stand out?
Not so much, no.
Yeah. So yeah, I think part of it is probably with this one just because a lot of them were spaced out, so you could look at an individual walker and see, oh, they're moving kind of weird. Whereas maybe the Whisperers ones were usually a bit more bunched together, and they all just it was just this big moving mass. So, yeah. Anyways, but good spotting though. You mentioned music before, Liam. Was there anything in particular?
A Whisperer theme. When they had the masks and Negan was training Maggie, they had, it wasn't that do 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 do.
Yeah.
It was the eerie sort of one. I'm not even gonna bother trying to
Okay,
describe it.
You're going to pull it up right here, Ben?
Yeah, well, there was another bit I noticed. I'm not sure if it's the same thing you're talking about though. So this is when he's training her, right?
That might have been it.
Let's see.
Because, I didn't notice anything like too ominous. It just... There's a general sort of Walking Dead thing that I recognize.
Yeah. That's one.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was good timing, actually.
Very good timing.
Yeah, no, good spot. It's slightly different, but like it's very similar. In the same sort of feel, at least, of just that ambient kind of sound that you usually get it when you enter the Whisperers camp or something. Good spotting. I didn't even pick up on that. And then there's towards the end it played twice, I think, when they were sort of leading the herd. Was similar to kind of Beta's theme, but it was different enough. It's kind of almost the horde theme of the bass sort of doing the percussion and the and it was I don't know if I can put it. I won't bother. It's not going to work. But yeah, it was cool. It was like, it was a callback and it gave you the same vibe, but they didn't just play Beta's theme again and kind of ruin it. Because like, oh wait, that's Beta. So I thought that was pretty well done. And there's something I'm going to have to look into this a bit more, but I think they might be like developing an Elijah theme potentially. Because there's... I only noticed it, and it's because the backing is kind of similar to the opening of 1016, with that similar sort of bass as the hordes approaching the tower, and then when it sort of went into the montage and you saw Elijah for the first time with the mask and the knives. What do we call those knives? Shivs.
Yeah, what are they? Mini scythes or something?
Yeah, that was it. Scythes.
I'll think of it.
Yeah. There's just this little bit of music that played, sort of, I don't know, it's like an accent, and it kind of came back here. But yeah, I'll look into it more. I'll bring it to you next week. I'll like properly cut it out so we don't spend forever trying to find it here.
Sickles. Sickles, is that it?
Sickles? I don't think so.
No?
They're quite a bit smaller. Anyway.
It's a whole nother language to me. Anyways, any last thoughts on the episode, or are you guys happy to leave it there?
Believe it or not, I thought of one thing in the World Beyond episode that I liked.
Oh,
Hey, here we go.
All right.
If we can, maybe end this on my high note, because I was really trying to find something.
Yeah.
They go to that special hideaway town, the Perimeter, I think it's called.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
That's what they call the town. Cool name. That's one thing. I liked that when they were meeting up with one of the elder ladies, the lady in charge.
Yeah.
She said you can keep all your knives, but you have to surrender your other weapons just for,
Yeah.
I was like, you know what, that sounds reasonable. It's like enough that you can defend yourself if there's like a
Yeah.
walker breach, but also like we're not completely stripping you of your defenses.
Yeah.
We just want the big pointy sticks, So
Sure.
I was like, that's a nice sort of meet us halfway type thing.
Yeah, definitely. And if anyone's desperate enough, well, A, you'd hope they have kitchen knives around there anyway. Otherwise, what are you going to do? Trying to
Yeah.
cook dinner. And B, if you're desperate enough, you're just going to make like a knife out of like plank of wood or something. Like, I don't
Take
know.
a long time.
I don't know. But yeah, no, good spot.
How you gonna whittle wood without a knife?
Like in season limited space remaining. Okay, no worries. In season 5, when they was locked in the train car at Terminus, and they used the chain to like hack a bit of wood off the side. You
okay.
can get it like sharp enough. At
I
least.
see.
It's not a proper knife.
That's right.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Any last thoughts, Liam? Or happy to
Well,
leave
let's
it
go
there?
on the same train of thought then. Positive from World Beyond.
Cool.
found
Hope
another
reuniting with the dad.
Oh,
Yeah. I thought that was nice.
Yeah. Nice. And I thought as well the little bit where Huck. Oh, I'm glad I remembered her name. I almost forgot.
go.
I forgot a whole episode, but now I just remembered when she's walking out of the cell and says like, "Oh, it's past midnight. Happy birthday, kid!" Like, it's just a nice little. I
Hey
don't know,
kid,
that's
happy
something I liked.
birthday, yeah.
Yo,
You have a good day.
something I liked about that she's paying attention and shows that she cares enough. So I don't know, something there. Yeah, well, we might call it a night there for now. We'll usually do something extra, but we've covered well beyond. So yeah, I'm gonna sign off. I've been your host Ben. We've got
Still Isaac here.
Always, Liam.
very much. I've completely fumbled my words and just keep walking.
Let's keep walking.